Today we are here with Alay Yajnik. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hey, Gabrielle, thanks for having me on today.
I don't think I know what you did before you were a focal point coach, and I was wondering if you could share a little bit of that backstory with me.
Yeah, sure. So I worked in medical devices for about 17 years prior to joining Focal Point. I held a number of different positions in medical device companies. I worked with large companies like Siemens Healthcare. I worked with startups. I ran a $100 million business for Siemens Healthcare, and with some of the startups, had a role in those businesses and getting them off the ground. But ultimately, I ran into a couple of issues. One is the large corporate businesses like Siemens just weren't a lot of fun. There was a lot of bureaucracy. It was kind of boring, quite frankly. And the startups, and this is no knock on people that appreciate this culture, but the venture capital culture didn't sit well with me. And so I was looking at this and thinking, I need to do something more fulfilling. That's a better fit for what I want to do for my family. And that's a better fit for the impact that I really want to have. And so I was looking for something else. And I found Focal Point.
So then what was it that brought you to Focal Point? What made you want to join and how'd you find it?
Yeah, I found it through a franchise broker. And I, at first, was not interested in looking at franchises because I didn't want to do a fast food thing or something like that. But when I heard about Focal Point, what I liked about it is it was the exact kind of right business for me, where I could take what I learned over the course of my corporate career and put that to use with clients who I absolutely love working with. I love how they run their businesses. I love how they treat their employees. And it just gave me the idea of it gave me a lot of personal fulfillment, so much so that I actually quit my job and went off to certification.
Oh, wow. Wow. I didn't know that you did that. Then what did your first year look like? What was year one like at Focal Point?
Well, it was interesting. It was a lot of ups and downs. Definitely coming out of certification was riding a huge high, a lot of really good energy and good ideas. And I was fortunate through the hard work and the Focal Point systems, I was able to get my first client, less than a month. And actually, I think day 30 on the nose, I
Oh,
picked up my
wow.
first client and, started adding clients here and there, did some consulting as well, and was really enjoying the fact that I didn't have to do these crazy trips to Europe. My family and I took our first real vacation in 7 years. We went to
Wow.
Hawaii for like a week. It was wonderful. So it was a lot of ups, and then on the downside, I'd never had to really sell to eat before,
Mm.
and so that sense of pressure, like it was up to me. I had to go out there and meet with potential clients, bring them on board, because no one was going to hand me a paycheck. It was up to me to go make my own paycheck. That was a little bit of a transition. I'd never done that before. And so
Mhm.
that created for me at times, a lot of anxiety. I was so happy that I had the Focal Point network of coaches, my practice mentor, the people I went with through certification, because they really, when those business challenges hit and when I was feeling confused or just down, I could pick up the phone, call them, get what I needed so I can get back up and get back to work.
Yeah, so is that what helped you in those times, or was there anything else that really helped with the difficult nature of selling yourself?
Well, it was the motivation to be successful. I mean, this is really my own business. It's the first time I had my own business, and I really wanted it to succeed. That's why I invested in Focal Point. I could have done this on my own, maybe, but I
Hmm.
really wanted to have the deck kind of stacked in my favor. I did not want to have to fail and go back to a soul-sucking corporate job or a venture capital job that I really didn't enjoy. So I had a lot of motivation to succeed. Focal Point, gave me the tools and all the support, and I had to execute on that to the very best of my ability, which is what I did.
How many years have you been with Focal Point now?
Yeah, so I joined in 2013.
That's what I thought. So I'm very curious. How has your business changed since 2013?
Well, boy, night and day. 2013, I was literally just getting started, Gabrielle, and so there was a lot that I didn't know. There was a lot of financial challenges that I was dealing with. I had to ramp up quickly to make ends meet for my family. And then, fast forward to now, I'm making financially much more in a much more secure position than I was. Because of Focal Point, I'm earning a lot more than I could have on, working for somebody else. Quality of life is much higher. I take really just a couple of business trips every year, and it's domestic for a few days. One of them is conference, which is a lot of fun. And I'm not working the crazy hours. I used to work, if you include the commute, I was basically working from 6 to 8, Monday through Friday, plus weekends, plus, transatlantic trips and stuff like that. And now I work probably 30 hours a week. I get started usually around 9 in the morning. I try not to work on Fridays, take multiple weeks off a year. And one thing I've been able to do over the past several years now is take 1 month off. So I work an 11-month year, and I just plan it. I'm going to take the month of July off. And it's been awesome that I was able to do that. If you would have told me that 2013 that I'd be here, I would have told you no. It's like I just wouldn't have believed it.
That's huge. Congratulations that you've been
Thank
able
you.
to do that. That's so wonderful to hear. So you are now implementing these things into your business. I'm curious on the more technical side of things, how has your business changed in that way? Have you changed the way that you provide services to your clients? What have you learned in these years of being with Focal Point?
Yeah, it definitely changed how I provide services to my clients. When I started, I was meeting everyone in person.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, one of the things I did with my practice mentor, because I was getting full with clients and was kind of running out of time. And so we did a time study, and it turned out I was spending 8 hours a day in the car.
Wow.
And so, I'm sorry, 8 hours a week, not 8 hours a day, 8 hours a week in the car, excuse me.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a full business day that I was spending in the car. We decided to transition to Zoom-based coaching. Did that before the pandemic, so way before it was cool. But it worked really well for me. It's something I've stuck with since then. That's also enabled me to build a national practice. So now I work with clients from all across the country. And I think it's really nice with Focal Point that I'm not tied to a specific geography. I can work with clients anywhere my network takes me, which has been wonderful. As far as the coaching mix has changed quite a bit. When I started, it was all one-on-one coaching. But Focal Point has a lot of different revenue streams. So as I got to build my practice, I started getting involved with some of these other revenue streams. So now I do training as well. I do assessments, and I do some group coaching, as well as running some roundtables for business leaders. And I'm excited for this coming year because I'm making a big change to my programs to really leverage all of those things as like a bread and butter coaching program, not different aspects of it, but it's all going to be integrated into one, I'm excited to launch this thing.
Oh, that's super exciting. I'm not quite sure how much you're wanting to share on that, and I know it's in the future, but is there anything that you'd like to share about that new change you're making?
Yeah, happy to talk about that as much as you want. So the reason I'm doing that really is selfish. I have a ton of business and I need to be able to work with clients and work with them in such a way that I can bring on more clients. And that's going to help me financially perhaps, but it's also going to allow me to help more people, which, once I got anyway to a level of financial security, I'm not so motivated by money anymore. I'm more motivated by, okay, how many people can I help? And by doing it in this fashion, I can actually scale it up and help a lot more people. So what we're doing is we have a few different elements to the program. The first element is they're going to be meeting with me in a group setting every quarter.
Okay.
We're going to be doing business reviews for their business. So, what their goals were at the outset, how they've done the last quarter, what their plans are for the coming quarter, and that's going to distill down to action items. So it's a couple hours on Zoom that we're going to do that with everybody together in one big Zoom room. And then, it's pretty cool. And then I'm putting everyone together in one big virtual mastermind group.
Okay.
So where they can learn from each other. So we'll be taking people and putting them into Zoom rooms so they can be in smaller groups, but it's going to be, one specific time to get everyone together and have them bounce ideas off of each other, their peers, have them learn from each other. So that's really exciting. The other aspect of it is they're still going to meet with me if they want to. Once a month, they can do that. And then I'm also going to have office hours, which are open to everybody. So every
Oh,
week, I've just reserved a block of time. People, if they have questions, they're stuck, they're, you know, concerned about something, they have a business issue they need addressed, they can jump in and we'll address that issue. So I think between all of that, you know, they have access to a lot of tools and resources that I'll be involved with to help them really be successful.
wow. That sounds phenomenal. That
It sounds, I know it's incredible. I was thinking about it. It took me 3 months to put this thing together, and I'm very excited to roll it out and see how it goes.
Well, congratulations. That's so exciting to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
One question that kind of popped into my mind as you were explaining that is the way that you look at your business now is less about that financial motivation and more about looking out for people and wanting to help people. I was just wondering if you wanted to explain a little bit more about how that has changed throughout the years as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think about this a lot because I do a lot of these, you know, coach validation calls and stuff like that. And you, Gabrielle, do we talk about points of culture on this podcast?
Points of culture, I don't believe we have yet.
We don't talk about them yet? Okay. So Focal Point has points of culture, and that's one of the things that creates such a dynamic organization. When I walked into the room and met these other coaches, it's like these were my people. And the reason that I felt so strongly and why we feel so strongly connected to each other is we have common points of culture. You can think about them as values, but they're a lot more powerful than that. So when I started with Focal Point, you know, one of the things I ask you is which point of culture resonates with you the most? There's about 7 of them. And at the time it was profit,
Mm,
because I wanted to make money. I wanted to have this be successful. I wanted to provide a secure future for my family. And so it was really profit. Then it changed, and it changed to balance.
okay.
So it wasn't so much about the money anymore. It still was, but I also wanted to kind of enjoy my life too. It wasn't just about chasing the dollar. And that's when I started thinking about how to take a month off and those kinds of things. And then it changed again. It changed to leadership, because I was really, you know, doing a lot with the business, and I was really establishing myself as kind of a thought leader in the space that I'm focused on. And so for me, it really became all about leadership. If I was viewed as a thought leader or a subject matter expert, not an influencer, that's not me, but you know, these other things, then that would really help me build a robust practice, help a lot of people while having balance and while making good money. And then
Mhm.
the latest thing is more about legacy, which is another focal point culture, which is, you know, about what you leave behind. And that really is what's driving me to help as many people as I can, transform as many lives of clients as I possibly can through business success. And I don't know if there's going to be another focal point culture that I'm going to connect with. It might be team or, you know, one of the other ones, but it's been interesting to see that, you know, as I've changed my outlook on my practice, the most important point of culture for me has also changed, and they're all really relevant.
I love the way that you described that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So now you explained what the emotional side of it is, and I'm curious as to what are some of your goals that you're working on right now in your coaching business? It could relate, could not, but is there any real goal that you're looking that is your North Star right now?
Yeah, I have two. One is increasing the volume of leads.
Okay.
And so, you know, there's a lot of things that Focal Point is doing now to do that, which is phenomenal. So leveraging those tools in 2026. And the other thing is making this new coaching model work. I really want to see if this is going to take off, because if it can, it's very scalable, which is exciting to me.
I'm probably gonna be spamming you, checking in and seeing how it's going because I'm very curious to see how this model ends up working out for you. Going back to your other point that you had said, do you mind expanding just a little bit more about that and leveraging those tools?
Yeah, so Focal Point continues to evolve. When I started in 2013, Gabrielle, you know, it was a very different organization. It was great, but it's unrecognizable compared to today. Focal Point has improved so much. And as Steve Thompson, our CEO, says all the time, who you know pretty well, Focal Point will always continue to get better. And that's because of the coaches and resources that Focal Point brings to the table. And I've witnessed that. And one of the really exciting things is what Focal Point is doing in the AI space to generate leads. And it's really for a couple things for coaches. One is generating good, high quality leads that are a good fit. That's awesome. The other thing is giving us the tools so that we can know more about the client and their tendencies even before we meet them. So that really sets us up to have a really successful meeting. So if you think about the things that really drive sales, it's getting leads, yes, but having qualified leads that are a good fit for us, number one. And then number two, being in a position to close those leads. And Focal Point's leveraging AI to help with both. So I'm very excited to see how that's going to pair up with the coaching program.
And just to clarify the tool that you're speaking about, I'm assuming you're talking about FP Connect.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. For the people that may not know what FP Connect is, it's really a fabulous tool. And so I'm really glad that you've brought it up because there's so many opportunities that come with it.
It's crazy. The number one issue that coaches have, not in Focal Point specifically, but across the entire coaching business, is getting leads. And that is like, and it's a great question that prospective coaches ask, like, okay, where am I going to get my clients? And now Focal Point has a really, really cool arsenal to where it's not, necessarily based on who you know, and it's not necessarily based on where you live, but it's based on really AI seeking out clients that are going to be a great fit for you specifically, not Focal Point generically, but it like looks at our backgrounds, comes up with an ideal client profile, and then seeks those people out and gets them to book in on our calendar. It is mind blowing. And then the other part of that, which I think is also part of FP Connect, is all the research that you can get through AI about this prospect. So when you get on the call with them, the prospect feels like this person knows me, they know my industry, they know my big business challenges. I get along really well with them. It really helps move them through to where they trust us and want to do business with us.
Yeah, I remember when Annette first brought up FP Connect to me, and I thought I needed to dunk my head in a bucket of water or something. I was like, there's no way. I know there's AI. I know it's advanced, but it's not that advanced. And it's amazing what it's done for a lot of coaches.
It is unbelievable. I mean, Gabrielle, you mentioned, or I mentioned that I've been doing this since 2013, so it's been a long time. And the entire time, Focal Point and all of us coaches have been trying to find ways for us to generate leads scalably, without us going out there and pounding the pavement or being in coffee meetings or doing networking. And now we finally have something. I mean, this is a real game changer, and I'm very excited to be able to take advantage of it.
That's awesome. So now that we're kind of at the end here, I was wondering if there was anything that you wanted to kind of put out there or say. A question I usually ask is if there's been a moment in Focal Point that it kind of keeps you going. It could be a coach that has said some words to you. It could be a client success story, a relationship, but anything with your time in Focal Point that you think about very often that made a big impact.
I've been doing this for a while, so there are so many of those instances, Gabrielle. It's like crazy. But what actually keeps me going is not keeps me going, but provides inspiration. Is something a couple of things that happened before I joined Focal Point. So once I made the decision to do it, I actually went to certification and all that. It was in that span of time when I decided to move forward with Focal Point, but certification had yet to start. And two things happened, and people that are looking at buying franchises or buying businesses, you're going to resonate with this. I did a ton of research on Focal Point and the other opportunities, but no matter how much research you do, at some point, it's a leap of faith. You have to say that, yes, I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to give this a shot, and I'm going to see if I can make this be successful. And so you kind of have to take that leap of faith. You're staring down into this chasm of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to quit my job. Am I going to make enough money at this? What if this is a failure? All these things stack up in your head, and no amount of research is really going to address those concerns. It's a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And so when I took that leap of faith, I was very anxious, right? It was not a big relief. It was like, okay, I did this. Oh my God, what did I do? I just quit my job. I'm just doing this. What happens if I can't, and like all the what ifs start to go. And when I was leaving for certification, I was literally walking out the door. My son, who was 5 at the time, he's in college now, but I was walking out the door and he had seen me go on so many business trips. He actually wrapped his arms around my leg and he was like, Daddy, don't go, don't go. And that just told me everything about the decision I made and how right it was. And, since joining Focal Point, not missed any of my kids' activities. And I've been there for them whenever they needed me. It's just wonderful.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I just love hearing what drives people and those little moments. And it is just so amazing and also underrated in the work environment to be able to say, hey, I want those moments. I want to stay for those moments. So thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I think that that's it for us today. So thank you so much for joining us, and it's been lovely to have you here.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Great to speak with you again.